You spend hours grinding through books, but just one day later, 70% of what you studied is gone. Frustrating, isn't it? But don't blame yourself. This isn't your fault. The human brain is programmed to discard unused information, like a computer that automatically clears its memory. So, how do Japanese students manage to memorize over 2,000 kanji characters and retain them for life? You might think it's because they study harder, but that's wrong. It's because they study smarter. The truth is, traditional methods like rereading notes, highlighting, or repeating lines make your brain treat them as the background noise. Just like skipping a YouTube ad, your brain doesn't even bother to store it. Think back. The last time you crammed all night, highlighted every page for a test, and ended up totally blank. Why does that happen? In science, there's something called the forgetting curve, and it's the silent enemy of memory. Within 24 hours of learning, most of the information you absorb is forgotten. After 3 days, only small fragments remain. Fortunately, there's a way to escape this cycle. Japanese students have been doing this for centuries, not by studying more, but by studying the right way. And the good news is, you don't have to read hundreds of pages of research. I've already done that for you. Here are 5 proven science-backed learning techniques that help you remember longer, learn faster, and stop wasting your whole day buried in books. Are you ready? Let's dive right in. 1. Active recall method. Training your memory like a samurai. Most people are learning the wrong way. We reread textbooks, highlight text, copy notes passively, and think we're learning. But the truth is, your brain treats that as background noise and quickly filters it out. Want to retain information long-term? You have to force your brain to work. Japanese students don't just absorb information, they make their brains retrieve it constantly. Just like a samurai trains with his sword, every time he draws and swings it, his muscles get sharper. Memory works exactly the same way. Active recall works in a simple way. Every time you try to recall information without looking at your notes, you're strengthening neural pathways in your brain. At first, it's going to be hard. You'll probably get frustrated because you can't remember. But this struggle is exactly what makes your memory stronger. So how do you apply it? It's simple. First, close your book, then grab a blank sheet of paper. Now, write down everything you remember about the topic you just studied. Don't worry about being complete. Don't worry about organizing it perfectly. Just force your brain to search for the information. Then open your book and check what you got wrong or missed. Repeat this process several times, and you'll see your memory getting stronger day by day. We cram and forget, but Japanese students sharpen their memory like a blade. 2. The Kumon Method. Learning in small steps. Imagine you're trying to climb a tall mountain. If you try to sprint to the top, you'll be exhausted before you're halfway there. But if you break the journey into smaller stages with proper rest, you'll reach the top more easily. Learning works the same way. Many believe being a good student means grinding for hours and cramming tons of info in a short time. But that's the perfect recipe for burnout and forgetting everything. Meanwhile, Japanese students follow a different method called Kumon, learning in small, consistent steps every day. This method follows a simple but powerful principle. Break down knowledge into smaller parts to make it easier to absorb. Then, study and review those parts daily. Instead of cramming an entire book overnight, they study a small amount and repeat it until they truly understand. Researcher James Clear, author of the best-selling book Atomic Habits, also emphasizes this. Improving just 1% every day leads to massive change over time. If you get slightly better each day, after a year you'll be far ahead of someone who tries to make a huge change in one night. So, how do you apply Kumon in your learning? It's simple. Each day set a small learning goal, a chapter, an exercise, or a group of vocabulary words. Make sure it's small enough that you can finish it without feeling overwhelmed. Then, the next day before moving on, take some time to review what you learned the day before. By learning slowly but steadily, you'll not only retain more, but also avoid mindless cramming and forgetting. Learning isn't a sprint, it's a long-distance journey, and the Kumon method is the compass to guide your way. 3. The spaced repetition method, reviewing at the right time. Imagine you're taking care of a plant. If you water it too much in one day and ignore it for a week, the plant will wither. But if you water it at the right time, in the right amount, it will thrive. Your memory works the same way. Many people have a habit of cramming at the last minute, rereading whole chapters before an exam, doing dozens of exercises in one night. But that's a big mistake. Cramming actually makes you forget faster. In contrast, Japanese students use a technique called spaced repetition, spaced review. It helps them retain information long-term without having to study excessively. The principle of spaced repetition is very simple. Instead of reviewing everything in one day, you spread out your reviews at key moments, just before your brain is about to forget the information. Studies show that if you review info after 24 hours, then 3 days, a week, a month, you'll retain it in your long-term memory. So, how do you apply spaced repetition to your study? An easy way is to use flashcards, or you can use apps like Anki or Quizlet. They automatically schedule the optimal time for review. If you prefer the traditional method, you can make your own review schedule. Learn something new today, review it tomorrow, then 3 days later, then a week after. The most important thing, don't wait until you've completely forgotten to review. Review when you still remember a part of it. That's when your brain is most stimulated to store information long term. Japanese students don't wait until the night before an exam to study. They organize their reviews like tending a thriving garden, rather than a wasteland after the test. If you want long-lasting memory without relearning everything, start reviewing at the right time, starting today. 4. The Kaizen Method. Continuous improvement by 1% each day. Success doesn't come from giant leaps, but from small daily improvements. This is the core of Kaizen, a Japanese philosophy of learning and working. It focuses on consistent progress through small but sustainable steps. Many people believe that to study well, they must change their habits completely, instantly. Study for hours daily, or absorb a massive amount of knowledge in a short time. But in reality, sudden changes rarely last. You might study intensely for a week, but then lose motivation and fall back to old habits. In contrast, the Japanese believe in gradual improvement. If you improve your learning by just 1% each day, after 1 month you'll improve by nearly 30%. And after a year, the transformation will be incredible. So how do you apply Kaizen to studying? You only need 6 minutes a day. 2 minutes for active recall. Test your memory by writing down what you've learned. 2 minutes for spaced repetition. Review key content at the right time. 2 minutes for intentional practice. Do exercises to apply what you've learned. With just 6 minutes a day, you'll achieve steady improvement without feeling overwhelmed. The most important thing is to maintain this habit every day, rather than pushing too hard for a short period and giving up. Remember, success is not about speed, but about consistency. If you consistently apply Kaizen within a few weeks, you'll see yourself improving naturally. No stress, no pressure, yet achieving outstanding results. 5. The Janin Method, the art of deep focus. Have you ever sat down to study only to pick up your phone and check messages just a few minutes later? Or find your mind drifting into random thoughts? It's not that you lack willpower, and it's not because you can't focus. It's because you haven't truly entered a state of deep focus. The Japanese have a concept called Janin, originating from the world of samurai. It's a state of full awareness with complete focus on the present moment. A Japanese archer doesn't just draw the bow and shoot. He feels every breath, every movement of his body, the tension of the bowstring, and the perfect moment to release the arrow. In studying, Janin is the ability to eliminate distractions and immerse completely in learning. When you reach this state, you not only absorb faster, but also retain deeper. However, to truly apply Janin, you need to build the right environment and habits. First, you need a dedicated study space, a place only for learning. If you study on your bed or in a space full of distractions, your brain won't recognize that it's time to focus. In addition, creating a study ritual is also essential. It could be something small, lighting a candle, playing soft music, or using a familiar pen. When you repeat this habit daily, your brain begins to recognize the cue and enters focus mode more easily. Another important factor is eliminating all distractions. If your phone is the cause of distraction, put it on silent or place it out of reach. If you often get sucked into unproductive websites, use blockers during study time. Finally, focus on the process, not just the outcome. When you truly enjoy each minute of studying, Knowledge will sink in naturally, without force. Japanese students don't just study with their minds, they study with full concentration. When you're truly focused, 1 hour of effective study is worth more than an entire evening of distraction. Try applying Janin today and feel the difference. The Japanese don't study more, they study smarter. Use active recall to remember longer. Kumon to improve 1 step at a time. Spaced repetition to revise at the right time. Kaizen to improve every single day. And Janin for maximum focus. Pick one method and try it now. Don't wait until tomorrow. Don't just read and move on. Success comes from action, not from thoughts. You already know the secret. The question now is, do you dare to begin?
If you enjoyed this video, remember to hit the like button, leave a comment to let me know your thoughts, and subscribe to the channel to support us.